Prologue. Great Falls, Virginia, Friday, November 5th, 2010, 4:45 a.m. Every November, she makes the same 8-hour trip. 8 years in a row now, she's gone over every clue, every scrap of evidence, 1,000 times. She knows someone used her credit card at a thrift store just outside Hollows Creek. She knows the trail didn't vanish. Someone buried it. So she comes back. Same week, same route, same ritual of hope. Maybe this time someone will remember something. Maybe this time a door will open, a word will slip, a truth will crack through the silence. She takes the week off from her company, Saving Grace Catering, a name whispered in the circles of old money and quiet power. She serves the kind of clients whose names never appear on the invitations, only their monograms embossed in gold. Embassy dinners, private estate galas, political fundraisers where silence is part of the service, and discretion is worth more than the food itself. Her reputation is spotless. She's built from the ground up. Every canapé, every contract, every favor owed and paid. Once a year, she shuts it all down. The clients, the calls, the curated perfection. Just before the holidays, she locks the office and draws the blinds, as if sealing herself inside a memory. Then she begins to pack. 1 week. That's all she needs before the holiday rush. The flyers go into the passenger seat, hundreds of them, each one bearing the same sun-faded face, the same reward notice. She knows every crease by heart now, the paper soft and cold against her fingers, its edges memorized like scripture. Then she starts the car and turns west, toward the silence that still carries her sister's name. By the time she hits the back roads of southern Ohio, the light has gone thin. Pale gold bleeding into a bruised gray, almost swallowed by the leftover storm clouds. Snow clings to the fields in uneven sheets, the wind carving long white scars through the corn stubble. What's left of last night's storm lies crusted along the ditches, dirty and piled in ridges where plows shoved it aside before sunrise. The trees along the hillside are mostly bare now, their branches glazed with ice, their leftover stubborn leaves clinging like dying embers frozen mid-fall. Every gust throws a whisper of powdered snow across the asphalt. The air smells like wood smoke, salt, and the faint metallic sting of a deep, old man winter trying to take hold. The hum of cicadas is long gone. What's left is the hush, the subtle hiss of that blowing snow scraping the road, the faraway groan of a plow on some distant ridge, the low murmur of her tires cutting through slush and cold black ice patches. It's November, and winter has come early. Too cold for comfort, too soon for mercy. The kind of cold that sinks in and decides to stay a little longer than you would like it to. The road begins to narrow as she winds deeper into the hills, hemmed in by tall pines with heavy ice and tangled weeds cracking under the weight of the frozen dew. The asphalt is cracked, patched, and broken by years of neglect. The kind of road the country forgot long before she ever found a reason to remember it. Just then, a black shape burst out of the tree line. Too fast, too close. A crow, a big one, its wings beating the cold air like thunder. Hanging there for a split second in mid-flight, its beak open in some silent warning. Then, whoomp. It slammed against her windshield before she could even scream. The impact rattled through the car. The bird skidded up the glass, rolled across the hood, and vanished out of sight. Her breath seized. In the rearview mirror, she watched it hit the pavement behind her, flapping wildly, one wing crooked and useless as it fought the cold asphalt. Her heart hammered. "Oh, fuck. Must be an omen," she muttered, knuckles white on the wheel. She took the next exit, 3 miles up, and pulled into a tiny gas station with flickering lights. She filled the tank, grabbed a coffee with hands that wouldn't stop shaking, and stepped out to check the windshield. No cracks, just a smear of feathers and something dark she didn't want to identify. She wiped it off with the edge of a napkin, tossed it, and slid back behind the wheel. Coffee burning her palm. Nerves still sparking. She pulled onto the familiar road again. She's driven it so many times she could trace it blindfolded. Still, every curve feels different now, as if the land itself keeps shifting under her tires, testing her memory, daring her to keep coming back, over and over. Massive tulip poplars and ghost-pale sycamores whispering in the cold wind, their branches stretching like long, bony fingers tipped with icicles that catch the weak afternoon light. Beautiful, yes, but haunting in a way that makes her shoulders tense. Dead leaves skitter across the pavement like things alive, flicking against her bumper and clinging to the snow-packed edges of the road. Up ahead, the sky lowers, a swollen gray dome pressed down over the horizon. It smells like a snow that hasn't fallen yet, and the afterburn of a storm that nearly took the whole region down. It smells like endings. By the time she reaches the outskirts of Tender Eyes, the sun is already sagging low, bleeding a dull orange through the skeletal tree line. Oversized patches of plowed snow rise along the shoulders like miniature walls. A wave of static breaks through the radio. Christmas music, darting in and out, trying to catch a frequency it can't hold. She flips through the stations, but all she gets are empty bursts of static, half-formed jingles, and holiday commercials sliced into pieces. After a few seconds of fighting it, she gives up and shuts the radio off. That's when the engine coughs. Once. Twice. Then the whole car begins to shudder uncontrollably.
Come on. What the fuck, not now?
She mutters, slapping the side of the wheel as the engine coughs.
Don't do this to me. Don't fucking do this to me right now.
The dashboard lights flicker, dimming.
You gotta be kidding me. I just bought this fucking car. We could not be doing this. Not today.
The engine shudders again, harder this time.
Oh, fuck you.
She snaps under her breath, gripping the wheel as if she can will it back to life.
Unbelievable. Fucking unbelievable.
The steering wheel became tight and restricted in her hands. The car starts to coast, lifeless, her foot pumping on the pedal. The climate control sputters, heat bleeding into cold. The dashboard clock blinks 12:47 p.m. She realizes she's been driving nearly 8 hours, with only one forgettable gas stop somewhere between exhaustion, ice, and nowhere. Then, all at once, her world goes eerily still. To her right, an old mechanic's shop leans into the frost-bitten weeds, half swallowed by rust and snowdrifts. The sign above the garage hangs crooked, half its letters missing. What remains is just the ghost of a word. S-E-V-C-E. Dusted in white. She coaxes the car into the gravel lot, the steering wheel groaning in protest. The tires crunch through frozen slush, the sound sharp and brittle in the cold air. When the engine gives its final sputter, the silence that follows feels staged. Too sudden, too exact, as if the whole world timed its breath to her arrival. She exhales, watching her breath cloud and fog the windshield before it fades into the chilled air. The heater hums weakly, then dies as she turns off the ignition. She pushes the door open, and the November wind hits her like a slap. Sharp, dry, and edged by leftover storm ice. Her boots crunch on the frozen gravel. The faint smell of oil and rust drifts from the open bay, mingling with the metallic tang of cold metal and damp earth hidden under crusted snow.
Hello?
She calls out, her voice carrying further than she expects in the brittle air.
My car broke down. I need a little help here.
No answer. Only the faint ticking of the engine cooling and the slow creak of a loose tin panel shifting in the wind. She tries again, louder.
Hey, is anyone here?
Nothing. Not even a crow. Just the pale hiss of the breeze whispering through the junkyard, thin, cold, and full of ghostly phantoms. She looks around the lot. Dead grass pokes through the snow in tall, frozen clumps between stacks of rusted parts. A single tire swing hangs from a tree branch in the distance, spinning slightly, though there's no strong wind, just the leftover push of the storm. She steps into the garage. Inside, the air is thick. Oil, rust, cold metal, and something faintly sour, like meat left too long in a freezer that's starting to fail. Dust coats everything. A clock ticks unevenly on the far wall, its hands frozen between hours. She moves deeper in. Her shoes crunch against broken glass. A calendar from 1973 hangs on the wall, its edges curled and brittle. The photo, an auburn-haired, voluptuous woman posing on a beach, has been bleached by years of sun and winter drafts until her skin is a ghostly blue, her smile half erased, her eyes washed to nothing. She spots a set of swinging doors toward the back, one hinge hanging loose. A faint scrape comes from the other side. Behind the shop lies a junkyard stretching out under a thin coat of snow, car frames and engine blocks all warped together by time and rust. The light here feels different, like the color of old photographs left too long in the cold. Someone stands near the center of it, back turned, elbow deep in the hood of a big yellow school bus, the number 23 smeared with dirt and new frost. The figure moves slowly, with deliberate care, working the way someone might who's done the same thing 1,000 times. She hesitates.
"Excuse me?"
She calls, voice cautious now.
"Did you hear me? I said I need help."
The figure stills. No movement. No sound but the faint hum of a nearby generator still singing in the distance. Then that person straightens and turns. The air leaves her lungs in one sharp breath. Her heartbeat stumbles, then hammers against her ribs. Her voice trembles with something between disbelief and fury, her heart between rage and panic.
"You motherfucker!"
she shouted. The words echo through the junkyard, swallowed by the cold. Her eyes burned. Her throat tightens. Years of grief and fury converge into one trembling exhale.
"I knew if I just kept poking around, no matter how long it took, I'd find answers."
The figure doesn't move, doesn't blink. It only watches, hollow, petrified, a stillness so absolute it curdles her blood. The sun hangs, peeking from behind gray, torn clouds, its light leaking through the overcast in a sickly red-orange hue that stains the world with something unholy.
"The fate of the gods brought me here,"
she says, her voice breaking into a near growl.
"You son of a bitch! And I finally found you."
Fade to black.
Hate winter on my windshield. Same road, same tired prayer. Detour by the same old signs, like maybe you'll be standing there. I whisper your name into the silence, like a curse I can't release. I picture you on an island instead of in someone's teeth. You took my keys, you took my car, you took my name. You drove so far, you broke my heart. So I go back every year to that dreaded town that doesn't care. Ask ghosts and strangers, where could you be? They never tell the truth or barely answer me. Hey, long winters to find my sister. I learned how to breathe sideways, so air won't touch this heart. I learned how to lie at diners when they ask me who you are. I scream your name out loud, no one can stop me now. But if I should die before I wake, I'll take them with me and make them pay. You took my keys, you took my car, you took my name, you drove so far. with your photo in my hand, praying that I find you. Maybe you forgot who I am. 8 years of wandering, 8 years of prayer. Tell me, sister, if you're alive, how do I find you there? I'm still coming, even if you don't answer anymore.